Well, I'm sure Adrian has said it
Adamik.
already, but thank you very much for being a part of the OCS Conclave and this whole event. And yeah, we're delighted to have you here, and we're delighted to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely. I'm very, very happy to be here, guys.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind, please introduce yourself and how you got into directing.
All right. I'm Kasia Adamik, and I've been directing, TV for quite some time, 20 years or so. And I used to be a storyboard artist before that. And I come from a family of filmmakers. You guys want to
Awesome.
translate? You have to tell me when to stop for translation.
I think they're okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all my family's in the films, and I really wanted to work into film, but I didn't want to be a director because it's really, it's a lot of work, and I'm just kind of lazy, and but I couldn't escape it. I eventually, from storyboards, I started directing, and it kind of sucked me in, and I just kept doing it for now 27 years or so.
Oh, okay. So you've been in the industry a long time then?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. I've been working not as a director, but working in the film industry for many years, since the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Let's give it a second for our translators. And I suppose.
And I'm from Poland. Just Poland. So you know, I'm from Poland. I was raised in France, and I used to live in Los Angeles, but now I don't anymore. Not so much.
Okay, awesome. How did you get involved with Warrior Nun then?
Well, I I am actually a big fan of fantasy and sci-fi and TV shows of that. So I just, it's my dream to do something like with special effects and sci-fi and fantasy and action. And well, I got I got the job through my agents, and the guys at Warrior Nun, Simon, where he was looking for directors, and we had a meeting, and we hooked up, and I did it. It was actually a very fast, exciting thing. So I just couldn't believe it when I got to Madrid. Landing there in like a horrifying heat. There was a heat wave when I landed. It was like 45 degrees, and it was, and I was like, oh my God, how I'm gonna even work in that heat, with the masks on for COVID,
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my scripts, and it was almost all night. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot that you would have been filming in the middle of what was the height of COVID. So I can imagine it was very uncomfortable with masks and the heat that.
It was tough. That was the only tough thing, really, because everything else was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess just give it a second for the translators now.
Mm-hmm.
But what was your approach when you delved into directing episode 3? Because I know you directed episode 3 and 4, but
yes,
episode 3 is one of my favorites. Well, both of them are actually happen to be one of my two favorites probably.
Cool.
But how did you approach directing episode 3?
Well, it's a bit of like a lottery. You don't know which the script's gonna be when you get them pretty late, and I didn't get them before I arrived. I got early drafts, but they were still changing, and
I think we might have lost your audio. Anyone else hear her? No, she's frozen.
She's frozen.
Oh, what a shame. Maya. Sorry, I just saw. So nice weather we're having. Okay. Give her another second. Hopefully it comes back. Oh, no, she's gone. She's left us. Give her a second. Hopefully she'll pop back in. Hope everyone's enjoying the conclave so far.
So I'll just jump in real quick.
Go for it.
Julia, you just jump in and ask questions too.
I'm crying inside. I don't know what I'm doing.
I was gonna go to you because I know.
All right. Sorry.
Perfect.
All right. When I got disconnected, I was saying that actually episode 3 was tough for me because it's a bit of a lighter episode. It has a bit of humor and it's kind of a bit quirky. It has this kind of lighter atmosphere to it. And I'm more of a dramatic director, so I had to count a lot on the kind of humor and comedic timing of the girls, Christina and Alba, which are amazing together, and really you don't have to do much to have them, be all funny. So
awesome.
But the approach was, it's a great crew. I was really, when I arrived, I was really kind of taken care of and kind of welcomed into the Warrior Nun family with open arms. And I had a great first AD and a great DP, and Simon, the showrunner, Simon Barry, because you know who he is. He's wonderful, and he really you have kind of freedom of, you don't feel the style or the being imposed upon you. You have kind of freedom to do your job and to have fun with it and to have an adventure with it. And at the same time, you don't feel like you're on your own. They're really kind of there when you need them, especially. So that was really, really amazing. And when it went really smoothly, I just came in and it felt like I've been there forever. It felt like home. So that was really amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've heard that the team on set and stuff has all been such a positive feedback from all the cast and crew that it was such a great set to work on.
It was amazing.
So it's great. Every new person that we've spoken to that have been part of the crew or part of the cast have all reiterated that it was a fantastic.
It was really, and it's not. It's not at all that common. It's you always have a little bit of problem, and really everybody was just on the same page. And I think it comes from the head. It comes from Simon, and it comes from the actors, the main actors, and they really they make it special. They make it really, really wonderful. So it was really really a fun ride, especially except for the heat. It was really, really a fun ride.
Awesome.
Do you want me to go, Leah? Is that
yeah.
what's... Oh, okay.
It was also a pause for that, and then it was a pause for the translators as well. So
yeah, we do little pauses for the translation, right?
Yeah. But yeah, go for it, Julia.
So one of our favorite scenes from episode 3 is the flower shop scene. It was beautifully shot and directed. How did you approach that scene?
Well, actually, that's a funny story because it was not always a flower shop at all. It used to be different locations. It used to be a bakery in the script, and we kind of looked for just an amazing place. We looked for the location first, and we found this amazing flower shop in the corner of the 2 beautiful old streets, and it was just just a great space to do the scene in. And there were also scenes in the flower shop, in episode 2 before that, but we looked for it together. We with the Emmanuel, our DP, we made just the windows more colorful. We made it kind of darker and moody and colorful. And it was all about community timing, and it was all about showing what's on the page. The scripts are very precise and they're really well written, and it's really, the job is just to try to do our best to shoot what's on the page, basically. And Christina and Alba, to get them into a good situation, and they do the rest. There's not much we can do here. as a director, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, we've kind of heard that both Christina and all the cast were fantastic when it came to obviously knowing their characters and essentially making the job for the directors relatively easy.
Yes,
in terms of giving direction.
Yes, absolutely. But they're also very kind of like, they don't know. I mean, they don't act like they know everything. They're very keen, to talk about scenes and to like work them out and to work on the blocking. They don't come with the preconception, which is really great. So they're really open to new ideas, or like, I think they're having more fun when we try to surprise them with like a little bit of a different idea for the scene that, that they didn't expect. So they have more fun with it. Mm-hmm. But also, as a director coming for season 2, I mean, the actors already know those characters. They know the characters inside out. They'll know them much better than you'll never know them. Because, they were those characters for, the whole past season and then 2 first episodes in this season. So when it comes to like, emotional stuff, it's really you have to trust them. You have to trust how much the characters are willing to show or give, how much is the truth of the character. And I think they would know that much better than, any director that comes, later on in the project, So it's a bit of humility for us also directors to know where to just kind of step back a little bit, and let them do their thing.
Awesome. Give the translators a couple of seconds.
Yes.
I think they're good. So Julia, if you want to go for the next question.
All right. What was it like filming in the Prado Museum? And were there any shots that you had planned on location that had to be what? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Were there any shots you had planned on location that had to be moved to the off-site set?
The others, yeah. We had quite of an adventure with one of the scenes that was supposed to be happening in the bunker. They go into that is under the cinema. The bunker they hide out in. And when we were about to shoot that scene, there was a huge flood, like a crazy storm, and a flood that flooded the whole location, that flooded the bunker, destroyed the set. And so we tried to shoot something that day, and we moved a couple of scenes which were in that bunker to other locations, to the studio on that day, before they could rebuild the set, and we can go back there for the bigger scenes. So that was a unforeseen circumstances, but it was quite an adventure, yeah.
Awesome.
But I mean, that's also I don't want to sound like I'm like just being too nice, but I mean really in other projects sometimes producers can really freak out when something like that happens. It's really panic, and those guys like Simon and Zach and David, they're just they were really calm, and just we sat down and we thought, okay, what can we do to shoot something that day? Let's think about what's possible, what's not. Nobody was, screaming and freaking out. It's very, very nice atmosphere to be creative. I'm not personally a big fan of, like drama, dramas on set. I like when it's nice and just quiet and it was like that. So that was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it must have been very special to film in the Prado Museum.
That was amazing. That was, that actually the whole thing, just for that, even if everything else sucked, which we didn't, it was worth it, because it was absolutely magical. It was. I was so happy to get this episode. I was, first we had a location scout. We spent, a couple of hours just roaming around with a guide through the closed museum at night, and then we shot at night. The museum was closed, and we were just as the crew. And we were in these amazing rooms with the Velázquez's and and all those amazing paintings, and we could just look at them, with a flashlight. It was kind of all the lights were dimmed. It was It was absolutely magical, and also very tough because we had just the one night to shoot everything.
Yeah.
But so we were very fast, but it was absolutely breathtaking. It was, just standing in front of the minions of the Velasquez painting, and you were like, there's such a crowd here, and people are, pushing you, and here you are just by yourself in front of it, with your phone and flashlight, and it's just a different perception.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very, very cool. But I also I was really enjoyed the cemetery in episode 4, which I also enjoyed a lot shooting. It was kind of this, and the foggy sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually do have a question about that particular scene, the cemetery scene, but we just want to double check that just where you are with time. We don't want to take too much of your time, but just in terms of how much you have left to chat.
No worries.
Just let us know if you're under pressure or anything. But
all right, thanks. No worries.
But still, we're kind of still on episode 3. But as I said, we do have questions about episode 4. But we spoke with Lee and Kai, the stunt coordinators, in an interview a few weeks, not a few weeks ago, it's probably a month or so ago now. And we did ask them about the fight between Vincent and Ava in the streets of Madrid, and whether Ava's hat flip, her turning it around, was in the script or directed by you, or was it an Alba improv moment?
That was an Alba moment.
So,
she did it, she did it just, for the rehearsal.
Uh-huh.
And she says, "Oh, do you see it?" I said, "Oh, that's really cool." It's like, "Oh, do you mind it?" Because that's like, and I said, "It's very, very cool." So she did it, and she did it in the scene later. And of course, once she did in the scene, we had to do it a couple of times because her hair went into her face or something. It's not that easy at all. It was her idea. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I think a lot of us suspected it probably was, but it's awesome to get it confirmed. We know that there's a lot of moments probably between both of them that they've improv'd, but that's definitely a fan favorite moment of her just simply kind of Ash Ketchum style.
I know, it's so cool. This is just so her, and I think as a director, directing those girls, I mean, exactly the thing is just to say, because they have so many ideas, just sometimes to say, no, let's not do this one. But usually you just pick one of the good ideas they have, and so basically it's like, you just pick and choose.
Awesome. Okay. That's cool to get that confirmed. Okay. Oh, yeah. Go for it, Julia.
Okay. The cemetery scene in episode 4 where B has a hallucination of Ava. What was your interpretation of what Ava meant by "I know what you are"?
Well, I think for the character, Christina's character, I think it was all about, her sexual orientation for me. It was about her not being, at ease with it and kind of still fighting it. I mean, at the end of the series, she kind of, she becomes okay with who she is, right? She kind of, she becomes, at peace, and she finds some happiness, and she finds some, some cool. But I think it was not about her being gay. It was more about her not being true to herself. More about her lying to herself, pretending she's somebody she's not. It was more about that than the actual her being gay. But this is very much my interpretation. I don't know really what Christina thought about. We talked about it, but I don't really remember. That's the problem. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people interpreted it, and I think we've seen a cameo of Christina talking about that particular scene, and I think she had a similar kind of interpretation herself as to how that scene was playing out in her head. So yeah.
Yeah, because the mist was supposed to show you like the biggest fear, so like the something that is really, really strong in your mind at the moment. And of course, she saw what she's struggling with, throughout the series, basically. So Alba saw, like a demon, right? She saw the demon, and she saw Jake become this demon, and so because she didn't trust him entirely, right? She was still, worried about him. And Christina saw what she saw. I think it's what was on her mind. It's the fear of the moment. The unease that she felt inside her.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. It was a great scene. It was probably another favorite
I like that
scene.
one too.
Yeah,
I like that because I think Alba also had fun with it because she got to be all like evil for a moment there.
Yeah,
it was
I think
fun to do.
I think a lot of people have written fanfics of slightly dark and evil Ava. So
yes,
I think people thought it was an interesting take. And that scene, the cemetery, the shots within the cemetery are all stunning as well.
But that's Emmanuel Mbeba, our DOP. He's absolutely fantastic, And we scouted it several times. It was also, again, the cemetery was quite a hard shoot because we had so much material to shoot. Because the church was there, the outside of the church, and the ending of episode 4 as well. So it was a lot to shoot within like a night and a half, and so we had to prepare it very well. Also the kind of production moves, the mini production move within the cemetery to be able to light the night. You have to do the smoke and light it, and of course night shoots are a bit more time consuming because you have to move the lights and stuff. So it had to be like clockwork. So we scouted it several times, and in this horrible heat. So, but I really enjoyed that sequence as well.
Awesome. So our next question, stepping away a little bit from the general show, but since we're now in Pride Month, which has just started, why do you think representation matters in media?
Well, it's a kind of obvious answer. I don't want to say banalities, but I think people are afraid of what they don't know, and and I think it's so important to show them that they know us, that they know the LGBTQ community, and they could be their neighbors and their friends, and without even realizing it, they know so many people like us, and that there's nothing to be afraid of, basically. I live in Poland now, where the situation for the LGBTQ is kind of grim. The government is using it often as a scapegoat for political gain, and it's, I can see what the word was maybe in the States or somewhere else 20 years ago. I can see it now in Poland, and I can see how much representation can change the way people approach it, the people so this is just so important. And I do a lot of work. I have part of a foundation, the University Foundation, that helps also the LGBTQ in Poland, and exactly try to make it just a normal thing, which is really not easy. So yeah, absolutely. Pride Month is it's a great way to show visibility and just acquaint the people with what they don't know. Maybe they think they don't know. So.
Awesome. Go for it.
Oh, my God. Okay. This is going back to the show. What was your favorite scene to direct out of episodes 3 and 4?
Goodness. That's a hard one. I think I really enjoyed the church fight. because on the page it was just this tremendous, huge thing. And then when we talked to the stunts, and we had these meetings, and they said, that which I didn't think, that we can do it really in just a few very long sequence shots, and just the choreography, this dance choreography of those shots, there was a lot of fun to do, a lot of fun, and it was something very new to me, to work with such a great stunt coordinator. They were really, fight coordinators. It's more about the coordinating of the fight than the stunt itself. And then to see, the actors rehearse this, and it was just really, really exciting to see that, and to have this ballet, in front of the camera happening. So I really enjoyed that scene a lot. But then I also love the cemetery, the night cemetery scene, because I got to do like a little bit of a spooky, thing, which I didn't have a chance to do earlier on. So that was fun.
Yeah, I know from talking with Lee and Kai that the church fight scene kind of changed a bit from the script. I know it originally wasn't supposed to be a oneer, and that kind of changed. So I'm sure it was super interesting to kind of collaborate with them, the DP and yourself, to kind of navigate that change.
It was. We had what was fun about it, that the stunt rehearsals, that they did, first only with the actors, then with like the whole group, of the stunt people that attacked them. The camera operator had to be part of those rehearsals. He rehearsed his camera moves, with the choreography of the fight. Who entered frame at which moment, who exited, who he had to pan to and stuff. So that was really exciting. It was an exciting process, and time consuming, but I just really, really enjoyed it.
Awesome. I just want to double check again how you are for time.
Well, we can have a couple of last questions, and then I should maybe go. I hear that they're starting already.
Okay. Well,
if you have one more question, we can do one more question.
There was one moment. The scenes of B when she was tranquilized. There's obviously the moment of when Ava is carrying her back to the cinema. Mm-hmm. I think other people had maybe a similar thought, that there was going to be a moment, especially when she propped her against the door, if B was going to, because even though she wasn't drunk, she was on a tranquilizer. Can't say the word, tranquilizer. But I thought because she was under that influence, she might accidentally say something of like, "Oh, you're really pretty, Ava," or something like that. Was there ever a moment in the script where she did possibly say something, or was it always just she kind of would silently slump around?
No, she didn't say anything ever.
Okay.
She didn't say anything. It was not scripted, but she was already so funny and so groggy. We didn't want to push it too much. I think it was like already very very funny. So, but it was. She kind of looks at her like a little bit like that. It's much more subtle. I think also Christine's always very subtle with her, looks and stuff. It was never too much. So I trusted that she knew what the level of this should be,
Okay, cool. I was just curious about that one. But Julia, I think we can potentially, start to wrap up. If you want to say, I think I've highlighted the line there. If you want to say that, and we can start to wrap.
All right. In order to show our appreciation to you as a guest, we are going to allow people to turn their cameras on, to wave, and as they wish.
Yeah, if they want, no pressure. Yeah. There's a couple of pages. There's a couple of pages of people. So
all right.
Anyone is allowed to turn their camera on now. If they don't, you have about 75 people who have come in to say hi and listen to you talk.
Hi guys, it was a pleasure. Hello, everybody.
Coco, your cat is gone. Where'd your cat go, Coco? It's just the Northern Lights. That's
We would
awesome.
love to have you on the OCS newsletter for a more in-depth interview if you have time soon.
Sure. Just you have my info, so just DM me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot more we would love to go into with episode 3 and 4, but obviously we're conscious of your time, so I'm sure Adrian will
No
be
worries.
in touch
And
soon.
some more guests coming. So thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
If you wouldn't mind, if you have one final little.
I just want to say the best fandom in the universe. I mean, I've just been following what you guys are doing. It's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, that was essentially going to be the question.
Absolutely amazing. You know, the posters and the meetings, the binge watches, yeah. I mean, amazing stuff. I never seen anything like this ever before. So it's it makes us very very happy as part of the crew to have been part of something like that. So thank you guys.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.